1, it is given that x 0 to 360, find all the value of x that satisfy each of the following equation. So here we have 360, we are talking about quadrant. So first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. Okay, so we see here this one 360, so we have to know which one is positive and which one is negative. So STC, saya terlalu cantik, whatever formula that you wanted to remember. So this is A, all. So this one, second quadrant, only sign is positive. Third quadrant, only tangent is positive. And then this one, only cos is positive. So you know which one is positive, then we can decide which quadrant it is. Okay, so A, sine 2x is equal to negative 0.43 to 1. Okay, so this one we see here, sign, this one sign negative, right? So we see here sign negative, we can see that here sign only positive first and second. So we know that this one is at the third and fourth quadrant. So this one is Q3 and Q4. Alright, so we know negative is represented by quadrant. So we use a reference angle to know the angle attached to this one. So we know that we use A, sine A is equal to 0.4321. A is equal to sine negative 1, 0.4321. So this one, just use your calculator. Sine inverse 0.4321, you get 25.6. This one is a reference angle. So 2x is the angle, right? So before that, you have to see here. It's talking about our x is supposed to be 0 to 360, right? So when we are talking about 2x, that means that we have to multiply the value with 2. 0 times 2, 0. 360 times 2 is 720. So we know that it is at the third and fourth quadrant. So you see here, and this one is up to 720. So that means 2 rounds. So for the first round, third quadrant, it is 180 plus 25.6, right? Third quadrant is 180. So we know that this one 180 minus A. This one is 180 plus A, and this one is 360 minus A. This one is for the first round. Okay, so this one is 180 plus 25 over 6. So this one is third quadrant. Okay, and then third and fourth, right? So fourth quadrant is 360 minus A. 360 minus A. A is 25.6. So we are done with the first round. But then we cannot stop because it is until 720. So the second round, okay, this one, before that, 180 plus 25.6, we get 180 plus 25.6, we get 205.6, right? So this one is 205.6. And this one, 360 minus 25.6, here we get 334.4. So this one, that means we add another round, so we just add 360 to it. This one is 205.6 plus 360. And this one is 334.4 plus 360. So here we get 205 plus 360, we get 565.6. 565.6. And then this one, 334.4 plus 334.4 plus 360. So we get 964.4. So we wanted to find x, right? So x is equal to, so we just divide everything with 2. This one is 2x, right? So 205.6 divided by 2, you get 102.8. And then 334.4, you divide by 2, you get 167.2. 565.6 divided by 2, we get 282.8. And 964.4 divided by 2, we get 347.2. So this is your value of x. Alright. So B, secant 2x plus 40 is equal to 2. So secant, we know that secant is equal to 1 over cos 2x plus 40 is equal to 2, which means that cos 2x plus 40 is equal to 1 over 2, right? So we do it as reference. So we see here this one. Before that, 1 over 2 is a positive value. So cos being positive, so we see here positive, cos is positive at the first and fourth angle. So this one is first and fourth. Okay, so now we know the quadrant. So we let B a reference angle. So cos A is equal to half. A is equal to cos inverse half. So which is equal to 60 degree. So here we know that our x is 0 to 360 degree. Now we have 2x plus 40. So 0, this one is 360 times 2 plus 40, 360 times 2 we get 720 plus 40 we get 760. So the range is between 0 to 760. Okay. And here we see here, okay, this one is the value for A. This one is 2x plus 40 where this one is A just now, right? So our 2x plus 40 is equal to, so we see here we know it is at the first and fourth quadrant, right? So for the first quadrant, this is 60, right? So don't forget this one is 60. So this one is 60. So fourth quadrant, 360 minus 60, so you get 300. This one is 60, 300, right? So you see here, this one is, now we are done with 360. Now we are going the second rotation. So this one is 360 plus 360, first quadrant, and then we are going to the fourth quadrant. So the fourth quadrant, it is, this one is 300 plus 360, right? So we are done 720. So you see here the angle is 60 degree. This one 720. If you want to go up to here, we have to add 60. 720 plus 60 is equal to 780. So this one is larger than this one, so cannot. So we only have 4 angle here, which is 60, 300. This one is 420, and this one is 660. So this one is 2x plus 40. So we have to find what is our x. So 2x is equal to, so to find 2x, we have 2 minus 40, right? So 60 minus 40 is 20, 300 minus 40 is 260, 420 minus 40 we get 380, and then 660 divided by minus 40 we get 620. So here to find our x, we need to divide this angle by 2. So 10, this one is 130, this one is 190, and this one is 310. So now we get the value of x. So C, cotangent x over 3 is equal to 0.4452. We know that cotangent is equal to 1 over tangent x over 3. Why we change to sine, cos and tangent? Because we want to use our calculator, and our calculator only have sine, cos and tangent, right? So this one is 0.4452, which means that tangent x over 3 is equal to, so I need to save space, right? So this one is 1 over 0.4452. So we can see that this one, the value of tangent is positive, right? So positive, you see here from this one. So we are talking about quadrant now. So positive, tangent positive, it is first quadrant, all is positive, and then the third quadrant, tangent is positive. So it will be at first and third quadrant. So use a reference angle. So we use A. Tangent A, alpha is equal to 1 over 0.4452, right? So alpha is equal to tangent inverse 1 over 0.4452. So when you use your calculator, make sure you do a close bracket here. So you are supposed to get 66 degree. So we see here this one. Okay, before that, here we have to write, so x is in between 0 and 360, right? So this one is x over 3, you see? So that means you divide the x with 3. So the 0 divide 3, 0, 360 divide by 3, you get 120. So now we know that x over 3 is equal to, so we know that alpha is 66. And we can see that the angle is up to 120. So this one is 66 is at the first quadrant. See? And then third quadrant, so we see here third quadrant is supposed to be 180 plus alpha, which is 66 here, right? But then we see here this one is up to 120. So this one is not accepted. So only one angle. So x is equal to 66 times 3. So here we get 198. D 5 tangent x is equal to 7 sin x. So 5 tangent is equal to sin x over cos x is equal to 7 sin x. So this one bring cos to the right hand side. So 5 sin x is equal to 7 sin x cos x. So we bring at one side. So 7 sin x cos x. This one minus 5 sin x. So we take out sin x. So this one 7 cos x. 7 cos x minus 5 is equal to 0, right? So here we see here sin x is equal to 0. Sin x is equal to 0, where we know that from the graph 0 is 0, 180 and 360, right? So we get x is equal to 0, 180 and 360. So here we have 7 cos x minus 5 is equal to 0. So 7 cos x is equal to 5. Cos x is equal to 5 divided by 7. So we see here this one is cos x. So x is in between 0 to 360. Alright. So we see this one is positive. So positive cos, you can see that it is at the first and the fourth quadrant. So just use calculator. So alpha is equal to cos negative 1, 5 divided by 7. So here we are supposed to get 44.42 degree. So this is our alpha. So here our x is equal to, so first quadrant it is 44.42, right? So fourth quadrant it is 360 minus 44.42. So here we get 44.42, and then this one we get 315.58. So we see here we have 5 value of x. So all the value is counted. So x is equal to, so 0 up to this one. So 0, and then we have 44.42. And then 180, and then 315.58, okay, and then 360. So we have 5 angle here. E sine square x minus 2 sine x is equal to cos 2x. So we see here we have sine square x, and we know that cos 2x is equal to what? 1 minus 2 sine square x. So we have sine square x here, sine square x minus 2 sine x. So we can change it in terms of x. So we bring at one side, this one we bring to the left because I wanted it to be positive. So here sine square x plus 2 sine square x minus 2 sine x, and 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. So 3 sine square x minus 2 sine x minus 1 is equal to 0. So do you still remember this one is also equal to 3x square minus 2x minus 1 is equal to 0. If you change sine x is equal to x, this one is just this one, so that you can factorize. So this one you can use your calculator. If you add 3, negative 2, 1, and you will get here sine x minus 1, and here you will get 3 sine x plus 1. So when you use calculator, you get negative 1 over 3, right? Which means when you reverse, you get here, because we know that here 3 sine x plus 1 is equal to 0, then sine x is equal to negative 1 over 3, and this one sine x is equal to 0. Sine x minus 1 is equal to 0, then sine x is equal to 1. So we have two values here. So for the first one, we have sine x is equal to negative 1 over 3. So we see the sign is negative. So when sign is negative, so we can see that sign is positive, second and first, right? So this one would be Q quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant, because it is negative. So this is x, so this one is x, so it is up to 360, right, on the third and fourth quadrant. So here A is equal to sine negative 1 over 3. So just use your calculator and you are supposed to get 19.47. So this one is your reference angle. So at the third quadrant and fourth quadrant, so x at the third quadrant is 180 plus 19.47, and then at the fourth quadrant it is 360 minus 19.47. So here we are supposed to get 199.47, and this one 360 minus 19.47, so 340.53. Alright, and then another one, don't forget we have 2, right? 2 sine here, so and then this one is another one. So here sine x is equal to 1. So we know that when we have this graph, you see here, this is sine graph, right? So at 1, this one is 180, this one is 90. So sine x is equal to 1. At the value of 1, x is equal to 90 degrees. So you see here we have 3 angles. So here x is equal to, so we have 90, and then we have 199.47, and then we have 340.53. This one is E. So F sine, so F sine x plus 30 is equal to cos x plus 120. So this one we can expand first. So sine x, sine A plus B is equal to sine A, you remember sine A cos B, so A is x, sine A cos B plus sine B is 30 cos A is x is equal to, so this one cos x, cos A plus B is equal to cos A, which is cos x, cos B cos 120. So we have plus here in the formula. Plus means you have to minus sine A. Sine A is sine 120, and then this one is sine A, sine A, this one is sine B, sine A. So this one is, so never mind. So sine, this one sine A, x, and then sine B. Sine B is 120, right? So this one here, so cos 30 is equal to, so this one is a unit angle, so actually you can use your calculator, or you can, if you can remember, so this one is 3/2, and then sin 30 is equal to half, this one is half, so cos 120. So this one you see here 120, so if 120 is here, so this one is 60, right? So this one you see here, this one is on the second quadrant. Second quadrant only sign is positive, so this one is negative cos 60, where cos 60 is equal to 1/2. So this one is negative 1/2. And then sin 120, we know second quadrant sign is positive, which is equal to sin 60. So sin 60 is equal to 3/2. So this one is 3/2. So this one you see here. So this one 3/2 sin x plus half cos x. So this one is negative, right? Negative half cos x, and this one you see here you have, so minus, right? This one is minus and this one is positive, so minus 3/2 sin x. So you see here we bring sine and cos at one side. So this one, where is my equal sign? My equal is supposed to be here. So we see here we bring sine to the left. So we see here 2 third 3/2, because this one is 1 and 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 third 3/2 sin x is equal to, so we bring cos at one side. So here positive half, bring to the right, become negative half. So you have negative half minus half, we get negative 1 cos x, so you don't have to write it, right? So this one and this one can be cut off. So here we see here we have 3 sin x is equal to negative cos x, and we know that sin x over cos x is equal to tangent. So we bring cross to this one, so here we have negative 1, so we bring this one. So this one tangent x is equal to negative 1/3. So we see here tangent x is equal to negative 1/3. So tangent is negative. So if we see from this one, tangent negative, we see here tangent is positive at the third quadrant and first quadrant. So which means this one at quadrant negative, which is quadrant 2, and this one is tangent, right? Quadrant 2 and 4. Okay, so we use reference angle. So we use A, right? Tangent A is equal to 1/3. A is equal to tangent inverse 1/3. So here we are going to get 30. So we know reference angle is 30 and it is at the second and fourth quadrant. So we see here x, this one is x, so this one, the range is 0 to 360. So at the second, so this one is 30. At the second quadrant, it is 180 minus 30. And at the fourth quadrant, it is 360 minus 30. So here we get 150 and 330. So this one is done. G7 sin x plus 3 cos 2x is equal to 0. This one is sin x, and we know formula of cos 2x which have sin. So this one is 7 sin x plus 3 cos 2x is also 1 minus 2 sin square x, which is equal to 0. So here we can make it into a sign. So 7 sin x plus 3 times negative 2 is negative 6 sin square x is equal to 0. So this one we can do factorization. So we change everything to the right hand side because I want to make the square positive. So 6 sin square x, this one would be negative 7 sin x. Positive 3 become negative 3 is equal to 0. This one use your EQN using your calculator. Factorization, or you can factorize manually if you want. So here, if you use your calculator, you get 3/2 and -1/3, right? So this one is the front. So here is 2 sine x, and you see this one is +3, right? Which means this one is -3. So this one is negative, right? So this one is 3. So this one is 3 sine x. So this one is negative, which means positive. So here we know that. So because if we put it, this one is equal to 0. So here we get 2 sine x is equal to 3. Sine x is equal to 3/2, which is this one. And here also 3 sine x plus 1 is equal to 0. So here 3 sine x is equal to -1. Sine x is equal to -1/3. So we have two equation here, and we can see that both is x. So when both is x, so we know that the value would be from 0 to 360. But you see here, the value assigned cannot be larger than, it should be less than or equal to 1, because when you draw your graph, you know that it is equal to maximum value is 1. So this one is not accepted, only this one. So we know that sine x is equal to -1/3. So sine is negative. So if we see from here, it's only positive first and second quadrant. So this one is at quadrant 3 and 4. Okay, so we use reference angle. A is equal to sine inverse 1/3, because reference angle we don't put the negative one. So here sine inverse 1/3, we are going to get 19.47 degree. So third and fourth quadrant. So x at the third quadrant, you see here, this one is 180 plus alpha, which is 19.47, and then at the fourth quadrant it is 360 minus 19.47 degree. So here we get 199.47. 360 minus 19.47, we get 340.53 degree. H sine x is equal to 3 sine 2x. So we see here 3 sine 2x, right? We can expand. So here sine x is equal to 2 sine x cos x, right? So here sine x is equal to 6 sine x cos x. So we bring to one side. So here 6 sine x cos x minus sine x is equal to 0, and we see we can factorize sine x, right? Sine x, sine x. So this one we are left with 6 cos x. So this one after taking out sine x with 0. So here we have sine x is equal to 0 and 6 cos x is equal to 0. Sorry, minus 1 here. So 6 cos x is equal to 1. So up here, so just right here, cos x is equal to 1/6. And another one we have sine x is equal to 0. So we know that sine x is equal to 0. So we have this graph here. When 0, it is 180 and 360, right? So x is equal to 180 and 360. So here we can see that our cos is positive 1/6. So cos to be positive is at the first and fourth quadrant. First and fourth quadrant. Okay, so first quadrant, so never mind, find the reference angle first. So here cos x is equal to 1/6, right? So reference angle A is equal to cos inverse 1/6. So here we get 80.41 degree. So this is reference angle. So we know that it is first and fourth quadrant. So x is equal to, so the first quadrant it is 80.41, right? And the fourth quadrant, so in the fourth quadrant the formula is 360 minus 80.41. So here we get This one is 80.41 and this one we get 279.59. So we see here we have these two angles and this another two angles. So x is equal to, so this one is 80.41 done. So 180. So 279.59 and the last one is 360. So this one is the answer. So cos x minus 60 is equal to 3 cos x plus 60. So here we can expand it using formula cos A minus B. So this one cos A minus B is cos A cos x cos 60. So minus in the formula cos A minus B, this one is plus. Just use the formula, substitute sin x sin 60, right, is equal to, so this one is 3. So cos x plus 60 is equal to cos x cos 60. So plus, this one is minus, this one is sin x sin 60. So here cos 60 is equal to half. So cos 60 is equal to half, and then sin 60 is equal to 3 over 2. This one is 3 over 2. This one is 3 over 2. So this one here we have half cos x plus 3 over 2 sin x is equal to, so here we have 3 outside, so we have half cos x, this one minus 3 over 2 sin x. So half cos x plus 3 over 2 sin x is equal to, this one 3 times half is 3 over 2 cos x, 3 times 3, so this one is minus 3 over 2 sin x. So here, from here we bring at one side. So we see here we bring sine to here and cos to here. So we have 3 over 2 sin x. So this one minus become positive. 3 is 3 over 2 sin x. Okay, is equal to. So this one cos x come here, right? This one, okay, sine come here, cos come here. So we have 3 over 2 cos x. So this one when it come here, it become negative half cos x, right? So we can take out sin x, so sin x, so we have 3 over 2 plus 3 over 2. So this one is 3 over 2 minus half cos x. So here this one is, so 3, so we see here 3 is actually 1/3. So this one is sin x, so this one is 4/3 over 2. So this one and this one cut off, you get 2/3, which is equal to, this one is 3 over 2 minus half, you get 1, right? 2 over 2 or 1, you have cos x. So here you have sin, so here you have 2/3 sin x is equal to cos x. So we know that sin over cos is equal to tangent, so sin x over cos x is equal to, so this one bring here, this one will be 2 over 3. This one is tangent x is equal to 1 over 2/3. So here tangent x is equal to 1 over 2 sec 3. So we see here the tangent x is positive. So tangent is positive at the quadrant 1, tangent 1 and 3. Okay, so here quadrant 1, so this reference angle alpha is equal to tangent inverse 1 over 2 sec 3. Okay, which is equal to, so shift tangent 1 over 2 sec 3. So this is 16.10 degree. So we see here first quadrant and third quadrant. So our x in the first quadrant is 16.10, and then in the third quadrant it is 16.10 plus, you see third quadrant plus 180. So here we get 16.10, and then this one is 196.10. So there is two answers for this one.